to Blah Blah Blah. This is episode 3. My name is Mitchell.
My name is Servant. And today we're going to talk about the Vice President debate that happened this Wednesday, which was amazing, guys. Like another great showdown of the Titans, fighting for power.
I mean, honestly, it was way better than the last one, so.
You could say, like, the general was like, two adults in the room.
Yes,
We're
they were
talking.
adults. Mm-hmm.
Were the exchange of ideas? No, it wasn't an exchange of ideas. It was dodging lights, like questions.
Yeah,
but,
it was more like dodging and then, like throwing
just
shade.
yeah.
Throwing shade. Dodging, throwing shade.
Which is the job of Vice President.
Yeah, it's really
They have
supposed
to clean after, their
Yeah.
candidates. So, let's start, like, the big thing, it was a corona again.
Coronavirus.
Which is, like, we're still in lockdown, many places still, like, not fully open, so it's relevant, I guess.
Yeah, I think it's relevant. I
Yeah.
think coronavirus is still relevant. It's still something that we don't have under control.
And a serious note, 200,000 people die of COVID. We still, like,
In America.
we account for 20% of the cases worldwide, and we only are 4% of the world's population. So we are pretty bad. What do Pence say about it?
I mean, honestly, he gave credit to the American people, which I think was a smart political move. But as far as saying more,
You're doing good, Americans.
Yeah,
That's all we can say.
yeah, I think he was saying more like, Americans doing great and we're doing stuff. But that's coming from like the cabinet that originally said not to worry and not to really is no big deal. That's what I got.
And to be fair, he was the leader of the task force for the COVID, so he actually has a lot of blame of how the virus was.
How it was
the
handled.
response.
Yeah.
So to be fair, he had a lot of answers, and I feel like he didn't give any concrete. He was just a good job, America. But I think at the same time, my main problem was like on to that, and say sorry, we didn't do a better job, but we're gonna do better, and this is our plan, and we're gonna have a cure by the end of the year. But trust, like, if you keep lying to people, it's just like
it's gonna come out,
It's just not, and that's why they're doing bad in the polls. Like, the response, like, I feel like Americans really took a hit with, the response and how we are recovering as an economy. Harris, what she said about it?
Yeah, Harris didn't say too much either. She kind of just bashed the Trump administration. But when asked upon what would the Biden administration do, she basically just briefly stated that they put money into research, tracking, and the vaccine, which is good. Those are good points, but she could have expanded on it.
Which I would say, to give her a little benefit of the doubt, the Trump administration is the one in power, like the one that can do things right now. Once I feel like Biden gets into power, if he wins, they will be the ones in power and taking the shots. I feel like a lot of the response of coronavirus has to do with response, the way you respond. But you have to be in power. It's kind of impossible for Biden to do something right now because he's not in power. But a lot of the main thing about COVID, and sadly, like, so many people have been affected. The economy also took a hit, and that, as a general, besides going beyond those 200,000 people, the economy affect all of us, like the everyday people. We did get a stimulus. Like the Congress passed $4 billion stimulus. It helped a lot. I'm not gonna lie and say it didn't help. It helped, like, sometimes, like, disproportionately more bigger companies than the little guy, but help.
And you can look that up too yourself. Just look up to see that the rich people actually got a lot richer. Poor people, poor.
But anyways, that $4 trillion gone. So what do we do now? What's the economy looking like?
Pretty bad.
Pence, what he wants?
Pence, honestly, here's my problem again with Pence. If you look at the plan, I don't see a plan. He said he's going to keep jobs in America, which I think is great.
I'll agree on that.
I think we can all agree on that. I think both parties agree on that. But, what was the plan? Where are those jobs going to come from? It was kind of just promise, but no plan.
Which Harris had to, she said that we're going to move to renewable energy, more clean jobs. Which is it's a plan. It's saying something how we're gonna move forward, and I think definitely we need to. It needs something to be addressed.
Yes.
Clean energy and how we move. Pence said oh, you want to ban fracking? But it's not really. She said we're just gonna slow it down.
Yeah. So she, to clarify, she did say they're not going to ban fracking, but they are going to create new jobs with clean energy, green energy, whatever.
Which, like it's gonna be. I think it's a balance. Like we still need to fracking needs to be done, but at the same time, if we have more jobs in different energy sectors, we're it's gonna be less. Yeah, for sure.
It's less reliable upon one source of energy.
Yeah.
I think having multiple sources of energy is great. It's like having multiple sources of income.
Yeah.
If one fails, then you have one as a backup.
The other one.
So I think it's good. I'm in support of green energy. I mean, it's cleaner.
I mean, Pence has they've been in power for 4 years, and the way he made feel was like, oh, the Democrats are the ones in power. Like, I mean, say that you plan war, but I think like a lot of people were affected by the trade war with China.
Yeah.
Saying farmers were people were paying like $1,000 more for goods, right?
Yeah. So because of that result of the trade war with China, Americans. This is what Harris said. Americans were spending on average like $1,000 more for goods. Yeah. So I guess that trade war technically didn't really end too well. Yeah. And Pence didn't really rebuttal that topic. He didn't say that was not true. He didn't say it was fake news.
Because I mean, at the same time, Pence has to like do a lot of damage control, and that's why I feel like that's why his responses are so kind of soft. Because Trump is very outspoken, and but that's the thing. I don't think the economy is doing great, and like if they believe they're just delusional, like we have to. I mean, if Trump says like this is the way to fix it, I'll be on board. But like he's not really like. If you don't acknowledge the problem, that's that's where
that's the first step.
The root
that's
of
the first step. Yeah.
But and that brings us to the next topic, which is like taxes, which is like the Democrats want more taxes, and is that true?
If you rewatch the video, it's not true. Kamala Harris really stated, like she emphasized, that only if you're making $400K or more a year will you be taxed more. So that would suck if you make that much money or more, but I think majority of people watching this and majority of people that I know do not make that much money. So we'd be safe from that tax increase.
Honestly, it's not going to affect your working class, but at the same time, it's a flaw with that problem though. Small businesses actually do make that money, but the owners don't end up making that money, so they have to pay actually more. But I mean, like definitely, I mean, it's not like written on stone. Like Biden is gonna he needs Congress, he needs the Senate, so it's big. It's not like the day that Biden gets there, like you pay more taxes.
Yeah.
So it's still still far away. But as far as that, I think people do need to pay their fair share of taxes. You saw your president pays he pays $750 in federal taxes, and you tell me I pay I pay a little probably more. So you tell me like the balance. So that's why taxes are really important.
Yeah.
And Amazon last year paid $0 in taxes. How Amazon this year make more money than any.
You all know how much Amazon is making.
Yeah.
You see the news everywhere, no matter where you look.
So that's I think
records.
where it has to revisit. So definitely, if you're gonna vote for sure, because that's a lot of a lot of free services that we get, and they're not free because we're paying for that, but a lot of services that we need. We need hospitals. We need
good roads,
police, we need
firefighters, like all these essential
needs that we
needs. We do need them, and that's what your taxes are supposed to be put towards.
Yeah. Kamala Harris debating why the Green New Deal is it's basically wants to move us from our current oil-based economy towards more green energy, and the Republicans they're outraged by that. But it's basically moving our current energy sources like oil, coal, and moving us more clean energy.
Yeah. Here's the big thing with the Supreme Court thing, right? So basically, the Supreme Court, as of right now, there's an empty seat, as most of you know. Maybe not all of you, but most of you know. And they're trying to fill that seat before the election, the end of the election. But a lot of people are against that because if Biden is elected, if he ends up winning presidential, candidacy, there will be a weird
It would be about
imbalance between Supreme Court.
It would be 6-3.
Yeah. So this is what Kamala Harris put in perspective, right? She said when Abraham Lincoln was reelected, this is years ago, when he was reelected, there was a spot missing in the Supreme Court, and he was being reelected. So he was currently president, and instead of electing someone himself, he said, "Let's wait until a new president's elected."
They want to nominate and appoint this judge a week from the election. So I think definitely they should wait. But I mean, the packing the Supreme Court, it's an option that the Democrats could take. I don't think they are gonna end up doing it. I think it's not gonna happen. But we'll see. It's probably gonna be the Supreme Court. If they confirm the new judge, it's gonna be 6-3. So a lot of
Yeah, well, so
it's
for those of you that
not
don't know,
gonna be
when
a
he's saying
balance.
6-3, he means like conservative versus liberal, generally speaking.
6 conservative Supreme judges
And three
more
More liberal. Yeah, so right and left. And that's why he's saying it's uneven. 6-3 is kind of uneven. I think 5-4 sounds better to me, no matter what side you're on. But basically, they're trying to appoint someone right now before presidential election happens.
Yeah.
Which I think a lot of people would agree that having a president first would give the country a better idea of what they want, and then you could support that with a Supreme Court person.
Yes.
So I think, to me, that makes more sense.
Overall, I think Kamala Harris was more likable, and I think both candidates did what they needed to do.
Yeah,
That's what I want.
I actually fucking watched the whole
Who-
thing slowly.
Who do you say is the winner?
I'd say Kamala Harris. Let me just fucking, dude, guys, like I literally, how long was it?
90 minutes.
90 minutes long? I think I spent like 3 hours on that shit.
That's what happened when you don't have a great movie.
Yeah, so I literally took notes on each fucking topic. I paused it, rewound it, played it, took notes, and objectively speaking, Kamala Harris had a lot more speaking points and really was trying to go more off of factual. Whether or not it was true or not, we'd have to fact check that, but like it was more facts. That Pence did not rebuttal against.
I think Pence was just to do damage control.
Yeah.
He needed to,
But regardless
save
of
the face.
his whatever his
Yeah.
intention, Pence was mostly emotion. Like he got me like pumped up and like stuff like that. Like the way he was saying stuff was more, we're great, we got this shit, we're doing great. It was more like that parent that just kind of is like, you're doing good job playing basketball or whatever, And then Kamala was more like, you know what, like you did good, but like you could work on this, you could work on this, you could work on this. So to me, that was the difference. It was more of like the parent that was just like, oh, you did great, we're doing great.
Yeah.
And then the other parents were like, no, we got to work on this, this, and this. So to me, that's what the difference was between the two.
I honestly, I thought Pence did good on what he needed to do.
Mm-hmm.
I think Kamala Harris won, but I think Pence did good because compared to Trump, to what happened on the first debate, I think he got his ideas across, and he's a well trained. Like it was really a standard debate, and at the end of the day, I wish he mattered more, but it didn't. I don't think it's gonna, the news cycle is super quick. But thank you guys for watching. Just give us a like and subscribe, and I will see you next week. Peace.